sticking to the local scene, the LMC and the NPFL, they've come out to say there will be changes in the league next season. They've promised that the winner of the league will be getting 1.3 billion in cash prize. We're getting at least ₦1 billion in cash prize. Those that come second, the person that finished second goes home with 500 million. Third goes home with 200 million. Also, they've also concluded that the minimum wage, the minimum salary for anybody playing the league will be 2 million naira. Um, I mean, if you look at this puts us ahead of a whole lot of other leagues, including the Egyptian league, just only the South African league that's ahead of us. Um, this is a good idea on paper. However, do you think there is the mechanism to be able to implement this? Remember, about 8 years ago, about 8 years ago, the NPFL came out and said the salary of players should be 150,000 monthly. And up to now, we still have league owing people money. A typical example was Enyimba last season. They were owing their players. Up to now, the players were only surviving on match bonus. Do you think this is just talk on paper? Do you think there's a mechanism to be able to implement this?
I feel like they had a meeting, understand, a very thorough meeting, and let me just put this out. If there is no mechanism, if there is no method or tactic on ground to put this plan into place, that meeting will not be successful. You understand? That meeting I don't think it will hold. You understand? I feel like there's a mechanism on ground for them to say this publicly. You understand? For them to make this for them to make this public knowledge. You understand? Because like I said before, if they are not tired of disgracing themselves, because this is going to be a very big disgrace if you say something like this and you end up not doing it. You understand? This shows progress. This shows progress. This shows that we know what we are doing. You understand? Look at what happened in the Nigerian Premier League last season. The title is went down to the wire. It went down to the wire, and it was not just the a boring. It was not boring because many Nigerians tuned in. They tuned in. Now I was watching Nigerian Premier League. That's the level we got into. You understand? I'm pretty sure the board will see this and know that yes, let us buy. Let us do something because you cannot have that. You cannot have the kind of season we had last season, and you go back to square H. You go back to you go back to what we were in the next season. You understand? We have to keep moving forward. You understand? I feel like they should capitalize on the kind of season we had last season. You understand? Push it. You understand? Put more resources into this thing. We have the potential to go far. We have the potential to be better than the South Africa PSL. You understand? We have the resources to be better than the Morocco Butola. You understand? We have the resources to be better than many African leagues. I'm telling you the truth. We have the resources. So I cannot believe that even the Tanzanian league, they have been better than Nigerian league for the past how many seasons. That should not be happening. That should not be happening. So I feel like yes, this is the right step in the right direction. But again, we are still talking about sustainability. Can we sustain it? Can we implement it? That's the question. That's the $1 million question. Can we do this? Can we do that? And that should not be a question. It's not like they're not getting money. There's money, there's endorsement, there's fast ticket, there's everything. You understand? So it's just a case of they should implement it. And I feel like the mechanism is already on ground for them to have a meeting, make it public, and say all these things. I feel like it's already on ground. I want to believe it's on ground. I'm not sure it's on ground, but I want to believe. I want to give the Nigerian body the benefit of the doubt that the mechanism is on ground.
Okay,
Thank you.
let me put this perspective in. So, I mean, probably maybe you might be able to clear it for me. The current 20-team league that we have at the moment, about 16, 15 of them is sponsored by the state government, right? Eyimba is owned by the state government, and players complained last season they were only surviving on match bonus. If it is the prize money, I don't think they will renegade on the prize money. I think the prize money is about $750,000, and I think they'll be able to pay. That is the LNC and the NPFL. However, the individual teams, um, about a year ago, I was speaking to the general manager of Ikorodu City, and he said if they eventually qualify for Europe, so I said Europe, if they eventually qualify for CAF competition, they will have to go and do Bambi Island with Lagos State government to be able to foot the expenses. A whole lot of this club that are being run by the government, they are even owning their player. How does the um, privately owned, three or four of them, how do they meet up? That's number one. Number two, we've had cases of players being owed for many months. They only get match bonuses. How are they going to be able to meet up with the 2 million naira demand? Don't you think that is way too much? Maybe if they started with maybe 500,000 or 1 million, that would be much more sustainable than saying the minimum must be 2 million when we've had cases of them saying 150 and they couldn't meet up in the past.
Huh. That's a very brilliant question because if you're asking me, I'm also going to be asking the same question because the private clubs and the MPFL, are they three or is it four or three?
About four of them now. About four of them now, including those that are
Are they
coming up.
four?
About four of them now.
Okay, yeah, okay, let's say the four of them you get. And 2 million naira, you said that's the minimum you can pay a player. That means a player that just signed with your club. You understand? Nothing, just paying 2 million naira just like that. You get. And as a private club, you are looking for a ways to fund everything about the club. And you have to pay 11 players 2 million naira plus the bench, the substitute and everything, the coaches and everything. How do you fund that? I feel like when the this conclusion was made that 1 billion for league winners, 500 million for the runner-ups, 300 for the third place, and 2 million 2 million naira for each player. I feel like when they were making it, they were referring to state-run clubs. I feel like they did not consider private clubs because I did not even think of this. I did not even think of the private institutions. I did not even think of the private
No,
owned clubs. I did not think of it.
sorry, sorry. But is the state supposed to be running the club? Yes, a lot of people bring up Saudi Arabia that the state is running the club and the rest of that. However, based on our own peculiar situation, we are not as rich as Saudi Arabia. Is the state supposed to be running the club in the first place? Because most of these states they use this as propaganda to launder their image. Is it supposed to be so?
No, that's not proper. You understand? I feel like football. Like you mentioned Saudi Arabia and how they run. Saudi Arabia is not Nigeria. It gets they have the resources. It gets. So let's not forget that if we are mentioning Saudi Arabia really is an anomaly. You understand? They went from 0 to 100 overnight because of one person. So I feel like all those any factor we are going to use, any metric we are going to use, is not going to it doesn't work for Saudi Arabia at all. It doesn't because Saudi Arabia is an anomaly. One person went to the league and everything about the league changed. Not forgetting that Saudi Arabia have the resources already. They just needed a trigger. They needed a trigger and they saw the trigger. So Saudi Arabia is doing it. Nigeria on the other hand, we don't have that. You understand? We are still trying to, how should I put it, push our football forward. We are still trying to push our football for the want to see. We are still trying to push our league forward. So we don't have that. You understand? So I feel like we are doing what we have to do to run these clubs. So I feel that's why I'm not really against the states. I'm not really against the states doing what they have to do, and everything and everything. We don't really have much, to be very honest. We don't have much. So I feel like they will do what they have to do to sustain these clubs. They will do what they have to do to succeed in football. A club